Okay, today we're going somewhere truly mind-blowing. A place in Greece where it feels like the laws of physics just don't apply. We're talking about a landscape built on faith, geology, and some serious human grit. Welcome to the absolutely incredible world of Meteora. Suspended in the air. And you know what? That's not just some fancy poetic description. The name Meteora literally means that in Greek. And once you see it, you'll get it. No other name could possibly capture this place. Because this is what you see, these ancient monasteries just balanced almost impossibly on top of these gigantic, towering pillars of rock. And right away, your brain just short circuits with two massive questions. How in the world did nature make this? And how on earth did people build on top of it? So to get our heads around this, we've got to start from the very beginning, from the ground up, literally. Before we can even begin to understand the human story, we need to talk about the incredible natural stage where it all happened. Now look, these are not your average mountains, not even close. These are massive sandstone pillars carved and shaped by wind and water over millions of years. They just jut straight up from the flat plains of central Greece. They're like these ancient, silent sentinels that were just waiting long before anyone even dreamed of climbing them. And that brings us to the human side of the story, because eventually people did show up. And here's the crazy part. When they looked at these impossible pillars, they didn't see an obstacle. They saw an invitation from God himself. It all kicks off around the 11th century, with the first hermit monks just looking for some peace and quiet. But then you fast forward to the 14th and 15th centuries, and things down on the ground were getting pretty unstable. The Byzantine Empire was in turmoil. So where do you go to escape the chaos? You go up. This sparked a huge boom in monastery construction, leaving a legacy that lives on today, with 6 of them still active. But why here? What was the big draw? Well, think about it. If you're a monk, this place has it all. You want silence, away from the noise of the world? Check. You want total isolation to focus on your faith? Double check. And you want to feel closer to God? Well, climbing these pillars was a pretty literal way to achieve that spiritual elevation. You know, living in a small cave is one thing, but what came next was a whole different ballgame. This is where the story pivots from a simple spiritual retreat to one of the most unbelievable feats of engineering in human history. And this, right here, is the central mystery of Meteora. It's one thing to want to live up there, but how did they actually do it? How did they manage to build not just one, but 24 monasteries on peaks that are incredibly difficult to reach, even with today's technology? The answer is just pure, punishing human effort. Forget about cranes and helicopters. The first monks got up there using flimsy rope ladders and nets. Then they set up these complex systems of winches and pulleys to haul every single thing they needed, every stone, every plank of wood, up these sheer cliff faces. They built these masterpieces piece by agonizing piece. At its height, this almost superhuman effort resulted in 24 separate monasteries. Just let that number sink in for a second. 24 communities, each an architectural marvel, all just hanging there in the sky. And today, of that original 24, 6 monasteries are still active. They're the living, breathing heart of Meteora, carrying on the tradition and preserving this unbelievable history. But you really have to understand this. The fact that it was nearly impossible to get up and down, that wasn't a flaw. That was the whole point. That remoteness was their ultimate security system, protecting them from all the turmoil on the plains below. The daily struggle was actually part of their worship. So what is Meteora now? What does it represent today? Well, it's way more than just an amazing historical spot. It's a living legacy, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that still has the power to just leave you speechless. There's this quote that just nails it perfectly. It's so true. These aren't just structures plopped on some rocks. They're a physical manifestation of belief, an ambition to literally build a bridge between the earth and the heavens. And you can see that in the architecture. It's amazing. The monasteries don't look like they were just dropped on top of the pillars. They look like they grew right out of them, like the final organic crown that nature was waiting for. It's this perfect harmony between human creation and the natural world.
And inside the walls of these 6 monasteries, you'll find an absolute treasure trove of history. We're talking ancient frescoes that are still incredibly vibrant, priceless religious manuscripts and sacred icons, and of course, the one-of-a-kind architecture designed for this impossible place.
When you step back and you try to take it all in, Meteora leaves you with a really big question. It just makes you wonder about the limits of human potential. What are we actually capable of when we combine incredible courage, relentless discipline, and a vision that powerful?
Well, here in Meteora, you don't have to look very far for the answer. It's right there, all around you. It's written in the stone of the monasteries, it echoes in centuries of prayer, and it rises, impossibly, into the Greek sky.